Hello. So I recently changed my YouTube name to Betty Kalunga because Betty's world has been stolen. So everything else, my social media is still the same, but yeah, so sorry about that. Hi my queens and kings, I'm back with another video. This video is going to be titled Finding Magic in the Mundane. I really wanted to do a philosophical video for the longest time, but I just kind of felt stuck and trapped, I guess. So I'm here to talk about philosophy, love, desire, lust, and romance in the mundane. Okay, so to introduce, there's a difference between choosing to view life through ignorance versus fascination. I think when you choose to ignore the realities of life, what's going on around the world, or just completely ignoring your responsibilities to escape, that is not what I'm teaching. That is not what I'm philosophizing. I am trying, or my goal for this video is to teach you and to let you know that there is a way to break the cycle of the mundane, to choose to see magic in the world, to be fascinated by the most mundane, ordinary thing because you choose it. And making this video, I come from privilege. If you're watching this video on a laptop, a tablet, a phone, a TV, you come from privilege. We're privileged enough to choose to see life through a fascinating lens, you know, to romanticize life. We're privileged because other people around the world, they don't have that. All they see is terror and like hate and disgust. They don't get the choice to choose. But this video, I'm making it to tell you that if you are in a cycle of boredom, repetition, pessimism, just ugliness of emotions, this is my key for you. And it's your choice to open the door or not. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, my first thing, you can find magic in books, films, music. Okay, story time. For the longest time, or last year, because I'm in college right now, last year I was in a play, I was in a philosophy class, I did a lot of things, and so when spring semester came, I had nothing to do. I was bored. I had no spontaneity, I had no rush, no call for art. I was just there. And for a bit I was like, is this the college experience? Because everyone was going out, partying, doing all that things, all of the jazz. But I'm that and more or less, you know, depending on where I am mentally, spiritually, physically. I can party, but then I choose not to. It's almost like I was born in the wrong generation. Just like, I don't know, so I felt like the outsider. I felt like, why aren't I going out? Why aren't I partying? Why aren't I exploring my sensuality and sexuality? And so I read this book right there, Call Me By Your Name. I reread it because I read it when I was 16, and so I reread it with a new fresh of eyes. And this time, I caught myself realizing that you can choose to live in a world of poetry, of art, of love. The only thing that's changed between our world right now, 2024, from ancient civilization, or just a time where love and poetry existed, the only thing that's changed is time. We as people, we still crave that love. We still have that love in us, but we just choose to live in like ignorance and live in such like, ugh. And so when I was reading the book, I caught myself seeing the world through Elio's eyes. See, you can't be ignorant to the reality. Morph it in, live in the reality, because you can't escape the noise, you can't escape reality. Just morph it in, swim in it, you know? Anyways, where was I? Yeah, and so I started reading the book and I started seeing my world through the character's eyes. And I started seeing things just through a place of poetry and a place of like, of love, right? And so I started talking to this guy, And I caught myself romanticizing or finding the magic in our situation. So, seeing magic in books, seeing magic in films, films have magic written all over them, especially independent films and movies and just short films. They're full of magic. And when I say magic, I don't mean fairy tales or like glitter, noise, just beauty. No, when I say magic, I mean a feeling, like a feeling of escapism. It's a feeling of sensuality, being in your senses, being alive. That's what I mean when I say magic, being alive. And so, films, I have a list of films that I consider magical. If you want to know, let me know. But those are my favorite films because it's a feeling. They leave you with something. They leave you wanting to live. They leave you wanting to be spontaneous. And they remind you that you can choose to live through love and desire and lust and everything of the above. Yeah, like I said, the only thing that changed is time. Like letters, people used to court people back in the days, you know? People used to fucking hunt and put it on their fucking back talking about, hey, this is me showing you that I can protect you. Will you choose me? What happened to that? What happened to men hunting? You know, like the only thing that's changed is times and just internet and everything. We are still the same human beings. We still crave desire and love and sex. We still crave that. It's just we're stuck and we're bored and we're pessimistic. Let's be optimistic. Okay, the next thing. In art of any form, I think you can find magic in paintings. Recently, I went to a thrift store with my friend and I saw this painting of this woman. She was topless and she had a cat and she was staring at a cat and it was just so beautiful to me. I've seen it before, but I had no money. Now I had money. And so I went to the cashier and I was like, hey, how much is that painting back there? She goes, it's not for sale. I'm like, but that painting was so beautiful to the point where I started going on Etsy and Amazon trying to replicate or see something similar. And the reason why I found beauty in it was not because she was nude, she was naked, part of it, but not because she was naked. It's because she was just doing mundane things, but from the painter's eyes, whether it was a man, a woman, whoever, from the painter's or artist's eyes, she was the muse. She was the only thing that existed in that moment. In that bleep of a moment, she was it. She was the magic. And I just found that so beautiful. And maybe I'm completely misconstructing everything, but art is subjective. You're supposed to think about art. You're supposed to come up with your own conclusions. And in my eyes, that was my conclusion. That she was the muse. That in that moment, it was so intimate and private that that painter decided, or that artist decided to capture it. And it was made in like 1932 or some shit. I don't fucking know. But it was a long time ago. And the fact that it's still here and it's still present and it was so intimate. And I think that's so beautiful. There's magic in intimacy. And when I say find magic in art of any form, I don't just mean paintings or films or books. No. Sculptures, acting, theater. As an actor pursuing my acting degree, I get a feeling every time I click with my character. I'm in my flow state and I have this feeling of just, it's almost like an outer body experience. It's magic on stage. When people say, oh, you see the magic on, no, it's real. When you find your calling and when you follow your intuition and you follow what you were meant to do, you will find the magic every time. And I try to find it every character that I get, even if it's the smallest character. I get a glimpse of the magic. I get tingly all over my fingers and my mouth. And it's as if I'm not just a vessel. It's as if something is living inside of me for a moment. And when I step off stage, I'm back. And I think that's magical. And yeah, in art of any form. Art of any form. My nails, this is a form of art. They're press-ons. but they're a form of art. They allow me to exist in this body as a feminine person. This is art. My rings are art. My jewelry is a form of art. My braids are art. It took me 8 hours to do my braids, but that in itself is an art. Doing it slowly and taking the time to braid it in my own hair as my ancestors did back in the days, that is a form of art. The only thing that's changed is our perception of art. Like, magic exists all around us, and I sound like a little hippie, I do, but it's true. Magic is all around us. We just live in such pessimistic, like, we live in such we live in a world where, like, social media, society, responsibilities take over us. Like, I feel like I am not meant for a desk job. I'm not meant to be stuck in an office. I'm not meant to be boxed in with my sexuality. I'm not meant to be boxed in with my gender expression. No. I allow myself to be fluid, because in that I can find the magic. In that I can find the art. For the longest time, I felt the need to identify as like they, them, because I dabble in both masculinity and femininity. And I think our society teaches us to put ourselves in boxes. I don't like boxes, both sexuality and gender. I identify as she, her, but I allow myself to explore my masculinity and femininity, because in that I find the magic. Because why would I want to be labeled? Why would I want to be stuck? Art is all around us, and escaping the box, that's where you can find the magic. Okay. What did I say? Music and painting. You can also, oh my god. So every time I read a book, I do a playlist. I find a playlist that matches the vibe of the book. Whether it's a how-to book, a philosophical book, or a fan fiction book, or a non-fiction. Fiction book. I choose to play music in the background so that I'm in the world of whatever book I'm reading. Same with, let's say I'm having a very shitty week, and I can't escape because I'm in this little tiny campus, this little bubble. So what do? Music. Every summer, I decide to make a new playlist of different eras of my life, where I'm at. So I have a playlist from 2 years ago. I can jump back in time and go listen to music, and it's almost like I'm reliving the moment. Music is a way to time travel. Music is a way to exist outside of the physical. It's an escape. It's magic. Music is modern magic. Okay, number 3. In love and lust. I think when people say, because I'm taking a philosophy class right now about love and sex, when people say there's magic in love, I think it's true. I think I've never been in love, so I can't speak for that. I'm pining and craving for that love. And it's crazy because with lust, when you lose your virginity, or when you have your first kiss, or when you have your first hug with somebody of the opposite sex that you're attracted to, or the same sex, we accept. When you lose that, or when you give that to somebody, you become disappointed because you built up this, you romanticize it, you built it up so high that now it doesn't fit, it doesn't match. I think romanticizing life, there's pros and cons, but ultimately I think seeing life through a romantic lens, I don't think that harms anyone. Love in itself is romantic. Love is as I read it, or as I hear from people, it's pure, and it's out of this world, it's out of this body. When you're in love, you escape, right? You escape from the shell, as I hear. Lust, I can talk about lust. Lust has such a negative connotation. Lust has such an ugly, like, taste to it when people say it. Love is like, ah. Lust is like, ah. Lust is seen as sin, and love is seen as pure. Why? you can find your creativity in lust. Sex is equivalent to creativity. The feeling of ecstasy and desire and thrill both exist in each, creativity and sex. You can find magic in love, yes, but you can also find magic in sex. You can find magic when you are next to somebody and you're just, there's this tension, this weird tension just pulling you guys both in, as if to say, who's gonna cut it, who's gonna cut the tension. And that in itself, that little line, that's magic right there. That's chemistry, scientifically speaking, you guys know the answer. But I mean to say that you can choose to see the world through magic. You can choose. Lust is it's fleeting. Yes, it's ugly and it's fleeting and it leaves you feeling empty. But take advantage of that feeling. You can find your creativity. You can find a muse. You can find someone that pushes you towards your creativity through lust. Just like you can with love. Love is patient, love is kind, love is pure, but lust is desire. Lust is creativity. Lust is thrill and art, and lust is magic. And all that same goes with love. We need to stop making it so ugly and making it so sinful, and we all crave sex. We all crave intimacy and ecstasy. We all crave it. We just hide it. Like me, when I'm not sober, I go wild. It's because I have this self-control when I'm sober, but when I'm not, it's almost as if I no longer exist in just here. I exist all over, and I think that you can find your creativity in that. It's not long-term, and it won't feed you. It won't fuel you, but it will feed you. So explore your sensuality, explore your senses, just explore your body, because just don't mix shit up though. Don't mix love with sex, don't mix love with lust, because those are very different. But they both coexist and they both work. They're just different. In the everyday tasks in your living space. So I just moved into my apartment because I'm in college, so a dorm apartment, and I made my space full of love and magic, because this is my space. I'm gonna be living here for like the next months, the next year, and so I decided to fuel it with my love and magic and make it a world where it's my space, and I can choose to invite who I want to invite, but it's my space. Out there is out there. In here is in here. So you can choose to create magic in your space by candles, tapestries, leaves, poetry around, colors. I just bought a sunset lamp, so now my room feels like a hug. My room feels like sex. It feels like ecstasy. It feels like poetry. It feels like magic, So choose to decorate your space and make it deliberate. Don't just put shit together and be like, no, you're gonna live here in your space, so make it magical, make it spiritual, Decorate how you decorate personally. Don't try to replicate me, because this is my style. I'm authentic. So try to do your own thing, but make it magical. Make it yours. Make it yours. Okay. In your living space, in your everyday task. For example, I went thrifting with my friend, same friend, and I was looking for little things, and look at my mug. It's so pretty. I choose to buy things that I find beautiful because I'm gonna use it. If I bought an ugly fucking white looking mug, I'm not gonna use that shit. I'm not gonna be excited to drink tea. I'm not gonna be excited to drink shit from it, because it's not visually appealing. It's not magical. It's not art. But since this is art, I'm like, because it's beautiful. So buy things that you find beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. Like in my room, I have bras all over. Like I have bras on my my bed frame and my door, and this thing that's holding my phone, I forgot the name. I have it on there because it just reminds me of my femininity. When someone comes in, it might be like, whoa, sex. No, no, it's art. It's literally art. Like, why is there a bra just hanging out? I think bras are so pretty. Anyways, besides the point. So find magic in your everyday tasks. When you come from work, drink some tea, take a shower, do your nails, do your hair, do your edges, you know, do something that just fuels you and reminds you that you are this body. You're not just circling around life and praying to get to your 80s and be like, oh, okay, I can retire now. No, live life, be spontaneous. A week ago, I got a tattoo, and I got it in my language. Because why? It's art, and I wanted to, and I've been wanting to get it for the longest time, for like 2 years, but something was just stopping me. My mundane life and my responsibility was stopping me. So I was like, you know what? Let me see magic. Let me see art. Let me live through the lens of magic. And so I went and I got a tattoo. That shit hurt like a bitch. It wasn't magical, but it's written on my body. I chose to have it on my body. I broke the cycle of the mundane. So do things that break the cycle. Do things that don't danger you. Like, don't do anything that puts you in risks, or like that puts you in danger. But do things that thrill you, that excite you, that reminds you that you exist. Go have sex with a fucking rock star. Go have sex with like the girl next door. Whatever you prefer. Have fun. See the magic in life, you know? I have 2 more left. Number 5. View or see magic in fashion and perfumes. I personally think perfumes are magic with like modern with hey, please, I believe perfumes are a modern form of witchcraft. Mind you, let me explain. Scents are so beautiful. My mom, growing up, she would always have a scent. Even though we were poor in the mud, she would always smell good. Every single time, that lady smelled good. And so I took that. I'm like, Mom, you're so right. Because when you leave people with a scent, or when you walk around smelling good, feeling good, looking good, that's a form of magic. When I don't dress up, I feel lazy and I feel unproductive. I just don't feel like myself. And when I say dress up, I don't mean wearing fancy shit, looking sexy, having my tits out. No, I mean expressing myself through my body. Rings are my form of accessories, are my form of magic. My nails are my form of magic. And if I don't have them, it doesn't mean I'm not me. It just means that when I have them, I'm more of me. I'm more than just this body. I am an expression. I am outside. Like man, philosophy, bro, philosophy. But yeah, so perfumes, having a scent. Get you a fucking perfume. Get a perfume that smells unique. Get something that nobody can fucking replicate. And if somebody does replicate, layer that shit, bro. Make sure it's your signature. It's crazy because I love changing my hair. I love changing things about me. But the 2 things that I will never change are my rings, my jewelry, and my perfume, my scent. Because one thing is for sure, I'll leave a mark. I'll make sure you remember me. If not me, my scent or my rings. So have something of yours that's a signature touch that no one else can replicate. Layer the scents, layer the perfumes, layer the lotions. Also, put scents in your hair. Leaves people wanting more. And don't do it because, oh, it's for you. Nah. Do it for yourself. But in doing it for yourself, other people get to see you exist. And it cut me off. Other people get to experience you, you know? When you have lotions, when you dress up, when you do your hair, when you smell good, when you just look good, your smile is good, you just taste good physically, sexually. It's a privilege to experience you. You're not doing it for other people. At least you shouldn't. You're doing it for yourself. But in doing it for yourself, you're allowing other people to experience you. And that in itself is magical. That is art. I rest my case. Um, and then, what does it say? Leave people with something. So every time I go somewhere, like, let's say I change my living space, or I'm living with somebody, a friend, a family member, someone. Every time I leave a letter. Just because I think that's so beautiful. I think it brings back the old days where letters were poetic and pure and just, ugh. For example, every time I'm in a show and the people in my cast just are my family, right? Not family, but just like everyone is so connected. We're all so connected. When we closing night of my first show in university, I gave everyone a letter because I just think that's beautiful. But in me giving them the letter, I perfumed it. I perfumed the letter in the rose. Each of them got a rose because I want to leave them with something. And not in a selfish, oh, remember me. No, but in a way where it's like, here's the rose because you're going to do an amazing job. But also here's the letter because you've changed people's lives. In your art, you create magic. So here's an award. Here's a gift because you and your art, you are a gift. So here you go. And so I always leave people with something, but I also make sure to scent it because I just think it's really beautiful and it's so cute because now my scent is associated with your memory. And I think that's really pretty and really nice and magical. Yeah, a card or a scent. Last but not least, there's magic in conversation. God, sometimes, okay, so I'm a philosophy minor, so I love to think. I love thought and I love conversations and I love banter. Oh my God, I love it so much. And not because there's an underlying flirting or an underlying chemistry. No, I just love to understand. I love to think. I'm a thinker. I'm a thinking thing. Descartes. And so I think you can find magic in conversation. Like recently I had a conversation with one of my roommates and it was so beautiful to see her allow me into her vulnerability. She allowed me to see her raw, to see her without her mask, and that was magical. And so I felt safe enough to allow her to see me. And I think conversations like that can be so beautiful. We were talking for like hours because we allowed each other to be in this world of magic together, in this world of art together. Like, let's say same thing with like lust or a romantic partner. When you're having a conversation and there's banter, back and forth chemistry, that in itself is magical. You never wanted to stop. You're just like, oh my God, I want more. I want to know how you're thinking. I want to be in your brain. I want to be you and see the world through your eyes. That is magical. It can be very unhealthy, but it is magical. And I think conversations, at least for me, if you want me to fall in love with you, have a good conversation with me. Conversations can be better than sex. Conversations can be better than desire. Conversations, if you make me think, like, I'm yours. If you make me think, I'm yours. Okay, guys, so that is my philosophy on finding magic in the mundane. I hope you got something from this. Also, journal. Write shit down because I think that's beautiful. Write letters. Write about your day. Write about your life because you can time travel back into it. Write it with your hand, not a computer. Write it with your raw hand, and then go back. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to help, and I hope you have an amazing day.